As I look to the horizon, not a cloud, but then storming winds go too cold. Seems like it crept up out of nowhere, all around you is not what you foretold. You never see it coming. You see that my mind is too fast for eyes. You're done, but the time is hit you, you're not surprised.
Good afternoon, good morning, good evening. This is DSP News. Always late, never breaking. For all of you guys who've been around for a while, you know that. For everybody who's new, hopefully you'll get used to it. But I'm sure one day I'll become reliable. One day. Ladies and gentlemen, we have 3 videos in the clip. We have 2 by Mr. Stuffs and 1 by Snow Brunel. The 1 by Snow Brunel I think we've done before, but yet again it helps to kind of tie in the situation with the girlfriend and why things are kind of the way it is, why certain things aren't getting done on time, yada yada yada. Should be interesting. Okay, first things first. So the girlfriend's not able to drive. What? Like, wait a second. What do you mean she can't drive? Exactly. Like, what's holding her back exactly? What is the actual problem? Phil's gonna give us the explanation. Now, this is not gonna be my actual girlfriend video because there's still some stuff that I want to go ahead and go over because there's just a lot that's not working out. There's just a lot that doesn't seem right. And so I'm still kind of running around trying to get stuff done while I'm doing my own shit in real life. Another thing though is Phil the other day apparently was feeling generous. So generous in fact that he didn't know that on Xbox Live that they send you free codes for stuff. Video games, movies, they even send you credit. Like, you know what I'm saying? That you can use for other things. $10, $20, $50, so on and so forth. Now, with this being said, he decided to have himself a little bit of a giveaway the other day. Now, ladies and gentlemen, it wasn't a giveaway, okay? Because Phil doesn't give shit away that has value. Okay, what Phil did is he saw a bunch of stuff there that he felt that was hindering him, and he just gave it up. That's what happened. It wasn't a giveaway. He was merely alleviating junk. That's all he did. That's all it was. That's all it ever was going to be. So don't ever let him make you believe that he's generous about anything, because he's not. But that's neither here nor there. Ladies and gentlemen, this is DSP News. Always late, never breaking, unreliable coverage that you can't count on. A GTG network and productions. Also, as the time I'm recording this, I had just released the whole situation with DSP being accused of carrying a knife to Evo and getting blamed and getting banned or whatever. I hope you guys liked the video. At the end, that wasn't either one of the guys in question. That was Smooth Viper and Cable Guy. So I think that was a classic East Coast versus West Coast type of match. I hope you guys like it. I might try to find some old hype matches like that and start putting those into my video, just so you guys can kind of get the feel for Marvel, Marvel 2 specifically, which is considered the only true Marvel. It was nice to have that. It was a nice bit of nostalgia, I guess. And hopefully you guys liked the match. It was like that a lot. And what you saw was still kind of like tame compared to some money matches. Some money matches straight up got heated. Heated as hell. Like people were straight up ready to go to blows over shit. You know what I'm saying? Over what we call now the banter. So it's interesting to see how the fighting game community has kind of, you know, gone through its metamorphosis in a ways and whatnot. But it was nice to kind of get to see that, man. Because I remember the first time I ever saw that on videotape, I was like, wow, I'd have been heated if I was him. But at the same time, though, too, man, you talk all that shit on the forums, you got to back it up sometime, right? And so that's basically what ended up happening there. So there you go to that. Ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and get into this video. And hopefully it is up to your guys' standards, I hope. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, this is DSP News, always late, never breaking, unreliable coverage that you can't count on. A GTG network and productions. You guys all know the slogan. It's time to watch me work. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're here with Mr. Stuffs, Dspgaming. The Maid cannot drive. Here we go.
Can you imagine this game had a completely different soundtrack. Put it up. It goes, Grand Theft Auto, San Andreas, going through the streets, gotta make it real. Grand Theft Auto, San Andreas, she just gotta try to survive. Yeah, CJ, come on, CJ.
You ever notice too how he has this penchant to sing a lot? It sounds like it's something that he really enjoys doing, but he never actually pursued it. Not that he's very good at it, but it's probably one of the few things that he's actually passionate about. It's kind of odd seeing that out of him.
A really cheesy, like 1970s up positive soundtrack. Like, what the fuck? Shout out to Dark Poe. He says, with your girlfriend helping the mortgage, shouldn't that help your financial burden? Well, the thing is, we've got a lot of stuff we got to work on. We're working on getting her license. She doesn't have it yet. We tried this week. It didn't work out as well as we had planned. Apparently, we didn't have the stuff that was all needed for her to get her license here in the state of Washington yet. We're hoping now. We're going back this coming week to try to get it. Once she has her license, then we can get her car insurance.
And the thing is, too, right? As Mr. Stubbs has here on screen, all she really needs is proof of her previous license and to pay the fee. And essentially, she's okay. Now, there's some other stipulations that will come up. I will try to put those in the video. I'm sure all of us already know what it is, but I'll try. But specifically for Washington, I'll put it in the video so you guys can kind of, get things, so you guys can kind of get a perspective of it. But this is stuff they could have done before she actually came down here. Or came to Seattle, I should say. And if Phil did his research, he should have had all this ready beforehand. Why didn't he? So, I don't know what Phil thought he was doing, but he didn't plan out, obviously.
Once she has car insurance, then she could start driving my car and get used to driving it in this area, which she needs to do before she can start her job, right? She has to be able to get to and from her job, and I can't drive her there every day because I'm going to be working. So there's a lot of things we have to do to get in place before we can get, her even back, to her job. So we're talking weeks, okay? Weeks before this is even possible. In addition to that, we're working on trying to get her insurance, because when you move, you guys aren't aware, when you move in the country of the United States of America, your health insurance is null and void, and you get completely screwed over because now you have to try to register in the middle of the year instead of what they consider the qualifying application period, which is they consider a life change, which you have to prove via showing documents like, oh, look, here's a new address that is linked to my name, and by the way, we can't do that until she gets her license, because once she gets her license, now it'll show her name and address, which then we can then show to the insurance people.
What about her previous ID or license, which would have her previous address on it? I mean, we all saw the apartment that she lived in, or at least she streamed from. We saw the casting couch. What's the problem, Phil?
People, so we can get her new insurance. It's a big rigmarole, pain in the ass. It really is. It's not easy.
It's not that big of a pain in the ass. So anybody who's moved from state to state, you kind of know how this goes. Most people usually have this straightened out in the first 10 days. Some people will procrastinate, like yours truly, and I might wait 2 weeks or so just to get it all squared away. Especially, you know what I'm saying, because you got to think, I'm transferring jobs, I want to get everything moved in, I want to try to get myself settled, shit like that. This isn't hard, Phil. It's really not. There's two of you, for example. It's not really hard. It isn't. So, what's the hang-up?
The United States of America don't make anything easy. Everything's got to be jumping through bureaucratic red tape and form after fucking form. It's just not easy at all, okay?
Life's not meant to be easy. Because if life was easy, it wouldn't be worth living. Phil. Just a piece of advice. DSP News.
So she can't even begin work at her job. She's transferred out here. But she can't begin work until we've got all this stuff done. Because if she doesn't have health insurance, she doesn't have a license, she doesn't have car insurance, she can't get to and from the job. And obviously with no health insurance, if she gets hurt or sick on the way or back to the job, she can't get treated. We have to have...
So is she can she just not drive? Or what's the problem? Because you make it seem like the moment she pulls out of the driveway, she's just accident prone. What's the problem, Phil? We all know that, as Almighty Tevin pointed out, She came to you. You didn't go to her. But I would think you'd want to give your maid a little bit of credit. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. I don't know.
All this in place ahead of time, okay? So she'll be starting work, but it's probably not going to be until sometime in March, at the earliest, at the rate it's going. You know, we were hoping to get everything done within the first 4 days. Nope, not even close. We got a few things done, but not even nearly as much as we had hoped we were going to get done. It's like moving like fucking molasses. It really is. Astrojet Boy just said it. God bless America. Yeah, the land of the fucking slow-moving slugs, and the home of the incredibly difficult hoops to jump through to get basic stuff done.
You should be glad, actually, you're in America, Phil, because anywhere else you wouldn't have gotten away with what you've gotten away with for as long as you did. You know what I mean? Isn't that one of the reasons why you didn't move to Canada? Because apparently they don't let begging go on as an actual job? That the taxes would probably kill you anyway. You should be glad that you're here in America and they allow you to do that we let you do. You really are. You're absolutely fortunate. You really are. Because anywhere else, you'd be working a job. Anywhere else, you'd probably be working too. You wouldn't be able to get away with just begging innocent people, usually children, online for money. You should be grateful. You should be effing grateful. You really should. Because anywhere else, at your age especially, they'd have told you to be a goddamn man and do what you need to do. Just saying.
That's really what America should be called. It's kind of annoying, but at the same time, I mean, we're having a good time just living together. It just sucks.
This right here, ladies and gentlemen, is an example of first world problems, by the way. At its most egregious point. It really is. Like, he's complaining about a situation where if Kat was in another country, she wouldn't even have the opportunity. And you're complaining because you thought you were going to get everything done in like a day or two. Because you weren't smart enough to plan out and see what Washington needed to get all this transferred over. But wait a second, though. You and Panda both moved from out of state. So you already had an idea of what should have been done, and you just didn't do it. So, in truth, it's really your fault. Or at least it should be, anyway.
That we're stuck here, and she can't get to work. You know what I mean? Like, I have to get her license and car insurance before we can even drive around here. So I can show her, here's how you get to here, here's how...
Excuse me, what? No. See, Phil, what you do is you get off your ass one morning, and you go out early, and you take her around Seattle. You take her around your general area. We all know where you live. And actually show her the sights. Actually, how about you do this? How about you send her to a detractor channel? Anybody in particular. But if I had to make a recommendation, I'd probably say Almighty Tevin, Argent, possibly Theo. And let them go ahead and show and tell her where everything is around you guys. If you're too lazy to do it yourself. Phil, your life's an open book, man. All you have to do is get up early one morning and take her out and see the sights. Get some breakfast while you're out there. Just show her around the general area. Show her where the places that she's going to need to go for her job, which is in question at the moment. You could do all these things in the morning and actually be spending time together while you do it. Two birds with one stone, Phil. What a novel idea. But instead, you're sitting here bitching and complaining because you have to do something. And that's an inconvenience to you. And this is the same problem that he had with Panda. He didn't want to take her anywhere either, really. And speaking of which, now we're talking about that. This whole 1 day off a week thing, so you guys can run errands and spend time to each other. That's not spending time, kiddo. Sorry, Phil. That's not spending time. What you should do is, this is in my personal opinion, get up early Saturday, run your errands, do everything that you guys need to do, stream Saturday night. Sunday, you spend the whole day with each other. That's what it should be. Especially since you praise her on her cooking. Make Sunday dinner with each other. And make that a staple of every week. Let's be honest, Phil. The internet can go without you for the weekend. Like I said, just hold yourself a little stream Saturday night. And then Sunday, you guys actually spend the whole day with each other. Get all of your errands and everything done. Saturday morning, Saturday afternoon, Saturday evening. You can jump on for 3 hours. Have your little night stream. Conjugate as much money as you can. Well, conjugate as many of the piggy banks as you can, so you can get as much money as you can. And then Sunday, spend the day with each other. That's really what spending time is. What you're doing is just following the exact same path that you did with Leanna. We all saw how that worked.
You get to hear, you know, can't even do that till she has that stuff, because if she starts driving and gets into a car accident, well, guess what? Insurance won't cover it. And then she'll get arrested because, oh, you didn't have a license in this state, you shouldn't have been driving, you know? So...
That's after 30 days, Phil.
It sucks.
At least I think in the state of Washington it's like 30 days.
Dark Poe did another cheer and said, I moved...
Actually, yes. Yet again, Mr. Stuff's coming through in the clinch. It says, by law, after moving to the state of Washington, you have 30 days to get a Washington's driver's license. You also need a license before you register any vehicle. It says right here that they have different offices for licensing, for driver's license, as well as vehicle license, and you won't be able to get your license and registration done at the same place. Apparently, for some reason, Phil must have forgot that.
Been used my out-of-state license to drive for a while. Your reasoning is very confusing.
It is.
Wrong. Dark Poe. What you don't seem to understand is, number one, you probably violated the state law, and number two, every state is different. I already did the research, and it said that when you move from one state to another, when you move to Washington State in particular, you only have 30 days to get a license. If you don't have a license within 30 days, you're considered in violation, and if you get pulled over, you will receive a ticket for hundreds of dollars. And by the way, you will then have your vehicle impounded because you don't have a legal right to drive the vehicle. Number two, I cannot insure Cap on my car until she has a Washington State driver's license. They will not insure someone with a license from another state for a car registered in a different state. It doesn't work like that. So she would be driving without car insurance, which is a horrendous idea and against the law. So it doesn't matter what you did or what you believe, Dark Poe. You are not the end-all, be-all of everything in the United States of America, and you don't know what you're talking about. So please don't try to contradict me here on stream because you don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, boy.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead and sniff that all up.
Alrighty then.
It's a good thing he doesn't do coke. That would be bad. All right, guys. So there you go on that. That's very peculiar. Very, very peculiar when you think about the situations on that one. The next video, and actually I think this will be the last video, will be yet again by Mr. Stuff's Dspgaming having to beg more. And it wasn't a giveaway. It was just him just tossing out a bunch of shit. That's basically what it was. See you guys in just a second. All right, guys, we're back. Generosity, a giveaway. What is a giveaway, ladies and gentlemen? At the bare bones of it, a giveaway is someone or a group of people or an organization or a company or whatever the case may be that decides to dig deep, sometimes dig into their own pockets, usually from profits, usually from whatever, whether they bought it, whether they made it, whatever the case may be, and decides to give back to the people who have supported them. Give back to the people that helped them get to where they are at. Now, as it pertains to Dark Side Phil, the Dark One, the Gout, the King of Gout, excuse me, he has done some giveaways before. They're absolutely egregious, and by far one of the dumbest things I've ever seen. At one time, the Dark One used to give away game cases, special edition or collector sets with no games in it. Just the case. Or maybe it has like the special edition DVDs or stuff like that. The games he had already traded off or whatever the case may be after he finished playing them. That's what he thought a giveaway was. And he felt that he was really doing something about it. He used to be proud when he used to do things like this. But now he had a giveaway the other day. Going out of his way to make sure that, the Pigpen, the cult, knew that they were appreciated. We're about to get into that right now.
Alright, so, let's see here. Obviously, top tip, we have not received the tip yet tonight, so that's going to go to question mark. Top cheer will be Johnny Soros Rex with that 50-bit cheer. And we're down to 485 subs. Which sucks, because actually we were up to... Oh my god, what the hell did I just do? There we go. We were actually up to over 500 yesterday again. And then today, we only got about 6 on the...
Now, ladies and gentlemen, this right here was put up on the 19th. I'm recording this on the 22nd. Now, here's the thing about that. At one time, and this was only before, I think before Phil went on vacation, or hiatus, or whatever you want to call it, he was up to almost 550 subscribers, or he was at the 550 mark. I can't remember. And then he's been on a sharp decline ever since. As of today, he's at about 400 and... He's at roughly at about 470, 480 subscribers. A massive dip over the span of the last couple of days. I want to bring that up to you because it kind of applies to what happened with KO Gaming. Now, KO Gaming was an attempt to reinvent himself. KO Gaming was a attempt to try to go mainstream, so to speak, with having gameplays, having reviews with edits and things of that sort, clickbait titles, clickbait thumbnails, shit like that. Stuff that requires effort, to make a long story short. And Phil didn't see the payoff immediately, which goes for anything. You know what I mean? It goes with anything at all. You know what I'm saying? When you start a channel, very few people are going to start a channel and have 1,000 views on their first video. You know what I mean? It depends on what you're doing. It depends on your timing. There's a lot of things that come into play. What Phil was hoping to do was use KO Gaming as a max for Dspgaming and try to kind of start over. And because he didn't see immediate success, he eventually abandoned it. His probably his highest point on that channel was, what's that? That Homefront Revolution video. His review, where he basically shitted on it. And it got a lot of approval. Well, not a lot of approval, but it got a lot of views. And the reason why that is because people threw that shit on Reddit, 4chan, Twitter. Like, you know, people spreaded the video around. And that's why it made it as big as it did. Phil, after seeing the massive success on that, and what would be considered a reasonable amount of time, decides to take him and Panda on vacation. He comes back, and all of a sudden, all of his momentum's dead. Why is that, ladies and gentlemen? Well, there's a couple of reasons for that, to be honest. One is he didn't build off his own momentum. If he had any videos stocked up, if he had any videos stocked up, any other reviews of any other games, he should have let it go while he was on vacation. He should have tried to build off of his momentum. And he had to do it immediately. You have to strike when the iron's hot, and you have to try to kind of keep building off of that so people can kind of get an aspect of you, get an idea of your format, things of that sort, and give them a reason to keep coming back. You can't throw out a hot video, if you want to go as far as calling it that, and then come back almost a week later and wonder why everything else is kind of in a slump. The period of time that you have for buzz is short, especially on the internet. You might only be able to hold people's attention for a couple hours, couple days. Phil wasn't smart enough to think about that. And he took that success and sat on it, believing that people would be there waiting for him when he gets back. Kind of like some of his relationships. Friends, family, and otherwise. And it just didn't work that way. This right here is... So, that situation kind of bleeds into a little bit to what's going on with him in the current. But, that's neither here nor there, I guess.
Grand Theft Auto stream, and apparently a bunch, expired.
And one more thing, I'm sorry, as it pertains to Twitch. He's slowly but surely turning Twitch into YouTube. Let me explain. On Twitch, there are plenty of beefs. There are plenty of stupid shit that goes on behind the scenes, as Phil likes to call it. There's a lot of animosity, some jealousy. There's a lot of just silly stuff that happens on Twitch. I get sent a lot of that shit to me. What it really comes down to for Phil is no one's popping any shots at Phil, which is what he wants. He wants a bigger streamer to mention his name and pop a shot off at him. It hasn't happened because they know who Phil is. You know what I mean? Like, or they've heard about him enough to be like, oh, well, he's jumping over from there to here. We're not giving him no notoriety. We're not giving him any shine. When you think of some of the bigger Twitch streamers who have problems, air quotes, with each other, they're already well known. They're all kind of on the same level, or they're all pretty close. Phil's down in the gutter. He had 550 subscribers, give or take. He's down to 470 in the span of a few weeks. That's almost unheard of, if you think about it, amongst Twitch streamers. to have a decline like that. Now keep in mind, their stream counts are in the subscriber counts, I should say, are in the tens of thousands. Phil is barely holding on to a couple hundred. The realm is different. But Phil is sitting there taking shots at everybody. He's trying to drum up this, that, and the third. He's sitting there blaming people for falsely advertising games that aren't good. Sounds familiar, right? Because it was just like what he did on YouTube also. The problem is he's not going to get the type of notoriety like he did on YouTube. These other streamers, they're going to laugh. They're just going to laugh amongst themselves, and they're going to keep it moving because they're smart enough to realize that Phil's just trying to gain some buzz off them, and they don't owe him a damn thing. This is going to... So, if he doesn't sharpen up, and I mean really, if he doesn't really straighten up and find a better way to market himself, to make himself more appealing, if he's not reaching out to Twitch's administration and trying to get himself into position for TwitchCons or for TwitchCon, or just trying to put himself on the list to try new stuff, he's going to be screwed. And he's going to end up just having to trek back to YouTube. See, he hasn't put all of his eggs in the basket yet on Twitch because he knows that it's still not stable. But if you can barely hold 500 subs, you've got a real big problem. And what Phil doesn't realize is last year was okay. He thinks this year is going to be better. It'll probably be 2 years until he can actually hold 500 subscribers continuously. It'll probably be another 2 or 3 years until he can hold 1,000. You see what I'm saying? He can't even hold on to what he has. And yet again, he has this propaganda that they're doing better and better and better. And that's a problem. It's a very big problem. And if he doesn't smarten up and figure out what to do, it's going to be murder she wrote for him. We'll see.
So we went
DSP News.
all the way back down to 485. It's like a roller coaster here. Some days we're up, and then it goes down, 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 down. It's crazy. Shout out to Mr.
Which is funny because he used to say that about his YouTube views too back in the day. So it's kind of funny how he's starting to come full circle.
Mr. Swaggins, who just did 125 at cheer and said, "Hey Phil, you are now the cheerleader for tonight." So I guess I'll update that.
Jesus
I'm doing
Christ.
all right.
And here's another thing too. I was talking to a friend of mine who ran up on one of my videos by accident and whatnot. So that was kind of cool. Didn't recognize my voice right away, so that might have been a good thing. But but he was basically like, "Hey, Phil used to stream back in the day. Why'd he stop?" He stopped because he didn't see any benefit in it, and that's the reason why he gave it up. So my friend was like, "Well, why did he just stream maybe once or twice a week, and then just kept doing the YouTube thing?" Good question. I don't know. Phil's an idiot. That's all I can really tell. That's all I can offer you, and whatnot. Because I know you're watching the video. That's all I can offer you, man. He doesn't have any foresight. It's just like I was telling you the other day. He has no foresight. He cannot see past his own fingers. His own grubby little sausage link fingers. He can't do anything else besides that. He can't plan for the future. That's why he's almost 36 and he has no retirement. That's why he's almost 36 and he has to depend on children and people who are certainly much younger than he is to give him money to help him continue going on. He already did it with YouTube for a couple years now. Now he thinks he's going to carry that to Twitch. And the thing is just like with the last video with the Cloud 805 situation, the younger generation, if they even remember him, that's all they remember him for. They remember him on this kind of misconception because they don't know no better, but that's what he's remembered for. Why would you want to support that? And the people who go over there to actually see Phil's stream or even come to his YouTube is out of like a morbid type of curiosity. It's like watching a man slowly but surely rot while saying he's perfectly healthy. That's essentially what it comes down to.
I'll be honest with you guys. I'm hoping that tonight and some other stuff that I do this week reinvigorates people because honestly, when I was away from streaming, it looks like that a little bit of momentum was lost. Not to say that I'm not getting a lot of people on streams. For example, Grand Theft Auto is getting pretty good with views and everything. But trying to get the momentum back to where we were, especially with the subs. But also with cheers and tips, even though cheers and tips have been pretty good, the subs are pretty important. I built it up to a big number last month, and now it's very, very hard to maintain what I had.
You didn't try hard enough. That was your fault.
Oh, it's a Z. Mr. Swaggins cheered against it. It's a Z, not an S. Excuse me. Excuse me for my horrendous error. What is, I'm so traumatized with there being a Z at the end of Dragon Ball FighterZ that now I immediately, like, change any Z's to S's. So there you go. Apologies for that. But yeah, you know, it's hard to maintain. It honestly is. It's hard to maintain. And it is what it is. What I'm going to do actually is, you know, keep streaming as hard as I can this next week. Although a couple days, like Sunday of this week and maybe even Monday night of next week, I may not be able to do a second stream because I got to do my taxes. My tax attorney wants all the information by the end of February. So, but what I may do is a big event that final day of February, which is what, Wednesday of next week, the 28th, where maybe I'll do like PUBG all day, or I'll do PUBG paired with something else that people really want.
Now, this is something that I pointed out in another video where you see how PUBG is like his go-to. It's like his go-to game now. Now, keep in mind, he conned his fan base into paying him $1,250 to play it. Now, that's all he runs to. That's the whenever views are low, whenever he needs something that's going to garner him attention, he goes right to PUBG. Here's the problem. Not to say PUBG's in a decline right now, but people are slowly but surely getting tired of it because of some of the new changes they made. The developers are trying to make it mainstream or more esport, and that's failing miserably. So what I had recommended in another video, and I'll say it now, and it still reigns true, is he needs to jump back and forth between PUBG and Fortnite. He really does. There's Fortnite is, for the most part, still doing everything right as a game. And it's fun to watch. It's exciting to play. And he needs some variety. He needs just some variety. And the building aspect of it would be good for him, because he needs some critical thinking, and he doesn't have it. But like I said, it's something a bit more colorful, something a bit more, as he would say, flashy for the kiddies. He should try to do that, because Fortnite is still putting up very, 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 very good numbers. But that's just my opinion, of course.
See, and I'll do like this information will be on the screen all day. It'll basically be a big drive to get more subs and cheers and tips to kind of make up for the dead time that I had. Because I'll be honest, early this month was a little slow, and then obviously when I was in here for 4 days, it hurt stuff. So I'm trying to get back to that momentum, you know.
You hear the desperation in his voice? If he drops, mark my words, by the way, like I said, I'm recording this on the 22nd of February. If he drops past, let's say 450, we'll say 420. If he drops past 450, 425, he's going to go into full-blown panic. I mark my words. He'll go into full-blown panic. He'll be manic.
I guess we'll see how it goes. All right. Anything else? Anyone else have anything to talk about before I get started? We gameplay here.
Meaning that, are any of you guys going to give me any more money before I start playing?
Cheer, subs, tips, anything? No? If not, I'll get started.
Oh, okay. I was right. Here, let's bring that back just so you guys don't think I was lying.
Momentum, you know. I guess we'll see how it goes. All right. Anything else? Anyone else have anything to talk about before I get started? We gameplay here. Cheer, subs, tips, anything? No? If not, I'll get started.
Now, here's the thing, though, too. In a previous video, because... oh, man, I think consistently I had videos go up on the channel this week. And last week. Anyway, when you think about his situation between him and Wings, like when you look at how Wings basically just begs for money because that's just what he does. That's what he's kind of reduced to. Phil does the exact same thing. He just does it in a different way. His twist on it is slightly different. It's still pathetic, but it just doesn't seem as pathetic. Whereas Wings fans can easily identify it. Phil's fans are just like, oh, well, yeah, let me try to help Phil out real quick. Maybe I can get this question answered. Phil is at the point now where he really should just go ahead and I doubt he'll do this, but it's obvious that he is paying attention to people's videos. So, yo, Phil, you might as well just go ahead and put the chat in subscriber mode only. and do that. Actually, do subscriber only mode for Friday, Saturdays, and Sundays, and force people to get subscriptions so it gets your subscriber count up. I'm just saying, you might as well. I mean, dude, there's some streamers out there. I'm not gonna name no names, but there's some streamers out there who are really, really big, and their chat is in permanent subscriber only mode. The only way you can talk in their comment section or in their chat is if you're subscribed to their channel. Some people are getting even greedier, and I don't know if this is true or not, but this is just what I've heard on some forums, is that some of them have a minimum of 3 month subscriptions or up just to talk into the chat. So think about that. You threw down $10 for 2 months and you still can't talk in the chat. You still can't interact with anybody else. You have to throw the $15 down. Just saying. I'm just saying. Like I said, that's all alleged though. I have no real proof of that yet. But Phil, you might want to go ahead and start doing that, man. You may and if he does do it, you can blame me for it. GTG, aka Golden, aka Phil does when I say Phil does what I say. He just doesn't do it right away. But that's what you might want to do, Phil. You're coming. Life's coming at you fast, and you're certainly not ready.
A 24-hour PUBG stream, yeah, right. Even I can't say. I would jump out my own window to escape. I couldn't do no fucking 24-hour. First of all, I couldn't do a 24-hour stream to begin with, but now imagine a 24-hour PUBG stream. Fuck that, dude. Alright, Coral Guy is here. He's cheered again. He says he's here and we can start. I don't know how he shows up at the beginning of every stream. It's weird. He's here every stream now. It's funny. Okay. Ellipsian says, check your messages from Xbox Live. They give free codes. I don't even know how to do that. I honestly don't even know how to check my messages. How do you do that?
Okay, here's the part that we've been waiting for. Now, here's the funny part. Sorry that you guys couldn't see this. But when he was actually going through and he found the message thing, he looked at the camera briefly and then looked back. The reason why is because he was scared that something was going to come up that was going to embarrass him, like some type of message or some shit like that. This is the reason why Phil doesn't check his messages on PSN or on Xbox. That's the reason why he had free codes there that, if I remember correctly, Xbox codes don't expire. But that's why he has all these Xbox codes up here for different free shit from like early 2017. Because he's so scared to check his messages, he's so scared of what's in there that he doesn't want to. He just doesn't want to open it. He's definitely afraid of it. Now this is coming from the same guy who used to do like ridicule friend requests videos and shit, where he used to make fun of these kids and these other people who asked him to be on his friend list. Now he's terrified, and the reason why is because he's scared that that's going to come back on him. That's why he doesn't do it anymore. He says he doesn't do it anymore because he's grown up, and you know it was a really negative thing that he was doing, and he just doesn't want to go back to it. What he's really coming to realize is that that's going to come back and haunt him one day, and so now he doesn't want to check his messages because he's too damn scared. That's why all this is here. So he's sitting there now, nervous as he's sitting there fiddling through these messages, come to realize it's just kind of, it's not junk, it's just stuff that he doesn't need, or he's definitely not going to play. It's not a giveaway. It was literally him dumping his trash on somebody else. It is what it was. There's nothing generous about this, but just my own opinion. DSP News.
Great. A customized Halo-themed racing suit for Forza Motorsport 7. I'm definitely going to be using that. A free code for the cult classic film Battle Royale, which I already own. What? If anyone wants this, right now you can have it. Here it is. Here's the code. Apparently I was chosen on December 29th for a free code to watch Battle Royale on Xbox Live. I already own the Blu-ray. I don't need that. You guys can have it. You guys can have it right now. I don't want it. A customized Gears of War themed racing suit for Forza. Here you go. Look at all this free shit they sent me that I'm never going to use. Here you go, guys. This is all for you. It's all for you. It's all junk. That's it. What's this? What the fuck is this message from? 10/25/2016. Thank you for purchasing Gears of War 4. Here are your codes for the Gears of War 3 and Gears of War Judgment, which I'm never going to play because I already played them. Guys, you're getting tons of codes for giveaways. Here, look. Look. Gears of War 3 and Gears of War Judgment. Here you go. Who wants these games? You can have them. Here you go. They're all for you guys. Those codes have sat in my inbox for a year and a half. Here you go. Gears of War and Gears of War 2. Here you go, folks. Gears of War and Gears of War 2. These have been sitting there for 2 years. I didn't even know they were there. A $10 off code for your next Xbox store purchase that I never used and probably is invalid. Let's see if I can redeem it. It probably won't work. It probably won't work. I had no idea any of this shit was here. I had no idea. Watch, you're going to say invalid. I guarantee it. Oh my god, I got it. I just got $10.
Hear how happy he is? Hear the jubilation? Just like when he gets tipped. Here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen. If I saw that, for example, let's say I was live streaming with you guys, and let's say, for example, that and actually I think I still have free codes. I don't know, we'll look at that one day. But let's say I had a bunch of codes. Like, let's say I had like 15, 20 free codes from Xbox that I never used at all. Ever. You know what I mean? And I knew a lot of that stuff I either already owned or I wasn't going to use it. And let's say I was floundering like Phil is, and I'm not getting any, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, everything's in a kind of in a slump currently. I wouldn't say in free fall, but in a slump right now. I would have been like, hey guys, I've got all these codes here, and I'm not going to do anything with most of them, so I'm just going to take a couple days and I'll go over and I'll look. But do this. How about you guys come back Saturday, and I'm going to have an Xbox Live giveaway. I'm going to go through these codes, I'm going to write them all down and whatnot, and I'll take screenshots of them, and we'll give them away periodically through my stream that day. You know what I mean? Or my 2 streams or whatever he decides to do. And do that. Or, I just thought about this, even better. He's holding a fundraiser at the end of February, in another week or so. He could give those codes away out periodically during the fundraiser. It would give people more incentive to actually come to the fundraiser and maybe even give money. So Phil could have turned what is junk, as I said he was going to say it is, and turn it into something else. He can make it benefit him. He can make his money, so quote unquote, because he pays for Xbox Live, work for him. I don't know. I'm just a dog in a suit. What do I know?
I just got $10 out of nowhere. That's been sitting in my inbox for a year and a half. I didn't even know it was there.
That and Xbox Live codes don't expire. Like, you know what I mean? They do not expire. Like, I got friends of mine, myself included, actually. I've got those, those 3-day and 15-day passes or whatnot. You know, back when Xbox used to give that shit away in like all of their games. I know in some games they do, but not all of them. But back in the day when they used to do that, dude, we have a ton of those things, man. Like, we're talking about from like 4 or 5 years ago, we still use them. Those things don't expire. They do not. PlayStation's, I think PlayStation Networks they do expire, but Xbox, they don't.
What the fuck? Why do they just send you random shit and not tell you have it? Like, it would be nice if they sent me a fucking email to tell me I had this.
You got an alert system on your Xbox. Oh, that's right, you a bitch. So you don't check so you have that turned off because you're afraid of getting trolled. Well, you did it to yourself then, Phil.
What a bunch of assholes.
No, you're the asshole. No one told you to make this median, make online, the internet your median, and to spread your life out to everybody, and then you try to basically put a shell up within that to try to guard yourself. When you put yourself all out there, you condemned yourself for whatever comes next, essentially. And I say condemned yourself because you're a piece of shit. So you have this need to tear people down for your own amusement. And so when people started to basically tear back at you, You didn't like it. You basically wanted to go online and say whatever the hell you wanted to say and be like, oh, see, look at me, I'm an honest guy. But then when the criticism came back, you were like, no mas, no mas. I don't want no more. Oh, why are you guys picking on me? Why are you guys bullying me? Why are you guys assaulting me? That's not how that works. That's the coward's way out. Just saying.
Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts for anyone who wants it. I already have it on Rare Replay. You can have it. Here's a code for Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts. There you go.
And see, if he was smart, that's what he would have done with these codes. What he's doing is he's throwing this out there now, thinking that, oh, maybe people will donate to him then. If he had built some suspense, some hype for it, it might have been better. But the thing is Phil doesn't know how to do that because Phil's not a showman. He's not a businessman. He has no idea on how to direct an audience. He knows how to manipulate an audience, which is slowly but surely fading, but he doesn't know how to actually direct an audience. He doesn't know how to keep an audience engaged, at least not in a positive way. And in turn, that's the reason why his life's shit.
The same thing. It's the same exact thing. It's the same thing again. What the fuck? They sent me the same code 3 times. They sent me the same code 4 times. They sent me the same code 5 times. 6 times. They sent me the same code 6 times. Jesus Christ. Amazing.
1 free code. 2 free codes. 3 free codes. Excuse me. 4 free codes. 5 free codes. 6 free codes. They're dumbasses. Jesus Christ, Phil. I'm glad you can count.
Alright. So all that being said, folks, how exciting. Mr. Swaggins just cheered. He says, why do I hate Drake? I don't hate Drake. I don't know anything about Drake, really. I don't listen to his music. I know nothing about it. Just because I joked about him in a random video years ago doesn't mean I actually hate the guy. Ballsy Fred asks, am I going to play Banjo-Tooie or Diddy Kong's Quest or Donkey Kong? Only if people want to see it. People ask for it. It hasn't happened yet. So there you go. Alright. I guess we'll start. I had $10 Microsoft credit.
Well, this is riveting.
It doesn't matter because I'm never going to buy anything on Microsoft again. Like, what am I ever going to buy on Xbox One ever again? Think about it. What Xbox One exclusives are coming out this year that I'm playing? Yeah, that's what I thought. And Sea of Thieves, I'm going to do Xbox Pass, Game Pass. I'm not even buying that game. So the $10 will just sit there forever, infinitely, and never get used, apparently. All right.
Well, here's the funny part then. Why'd you redeem it then if you knew you weren't going to use it? He knew that beforehand. He knew beforehand that he was never going to use that $10. But you were willing to give away everything else except for that. And then you turn around like an asshole and it's like, oh, well, damn, now that I think about it, I'm not going to use that $10 code. I got Xbox Replay or whatever that new service is. So I'm never going to use it. So it's going to sit there forever. So you couldn't give back? You know, it's $10. It's a $10 credit. Why didn't you give that off to the fan base, to anybody, and let them have that? No. See, in the world of gout, there is no doubt that Phil will not give away money. You can have any other little bullshit you want, but you cannot get any of Leanna's old property. You can't get anything of his old property. He'd rather burn it before he lets you guys get anything that belongs to him for the most part. And he's damn sure not going to give away money, even if it's in credit form, even if he'll never use it. You're not going to get it. But what you guys will do is give me money when this fundraiser comes up. You will pay my taxes. And you will let me continue to exist on the internet. On your dime. That is the word of gout. And don't ever forget it. Ladies and gentlemen, this is DSP News. Always late, never breaking. Unreliable coverage that you can't count on. A GTG Network and Productions. He's selfish. He's selfish and greedy for just the sake of being greedy. There's nothing else. There's nothing else to it. It's just for that. I said I'd say his life is miserable if it wasn't for of his own making. Anyway, this is GTG signing off. End of broadcast.